Hey guys, it's Tuckz here. Get the sweetest deals on games and hardware right now at g2a.com. Use the code Atlantis and enjoy awesome discounts. Check out the links in the description now. Hey guys, Tuckz here. So I'm getting a lot of DMs currently about what my current setup is, my mouse, my keyboard, my binds, and my settings. So I thought I'd do one video just to run you guys through everything that I use currently and what I'd recommend you guys to use as well. So first of all, we're going to jump straight into keybinds. Keybinds is a highly personal preference. But what I run personally is 2 building binds on my mouse, and that's my wall and stair. And I use F for cone, and I use Q for floor. And these binds are the same binds that I've been running pretty much since season 3 when I started, but I've just changed my cone around a few times just to make it a bit more convenient for myself. I now run trap on X, which I didn't used to before, and I've also recently switched crouch to left shift. Now, I used to use alt, and I was an advocate for alt for quite a while because it allowed my WASD hand, sort of like my fingers, to move more freely, because I found it a little bit awkward pressing control with my pinky. But now that I moved my crouch to shift, I can actually spam shift and spacebar, which allows me to stand up and crouch much faster than the average person just spamming shift or spamming crouch without pressing the spacebar. This allows for a much easier time in box fights, because if you do get stuck in someone's box and you're having a 50-50 shootout, you can spam that spacebar, crouch, and also, you know, just jump to completely throw off your enemy, and they'll find it very hard to actually hit your head, which is where obviously most of the damage is going to come from. I use my trap on X, I use ping as G, and my talk button is N because I don't really use that much in game. I'm usually on Discord. My inventory is control, and my carry is V. There's currently a pickup bug in the game, so I haven't actually had a chance to use V much to pick up people because I'm always picking them up anyway in the middle of fights. But when I do need it, that's the button I choose, because I don't actually use any button further than C or V for most of my binds. I like to keep everything as close to the WASD as possible, purely for speed and accuracy, because the further button, the more chance there is of you missing it, and also the chance of you not being able to hit it sort of as fast consecutively if you do need to press it a couple of times, because you need to go back to that button again. Apart from that, guys, it's pretty standard. I just recommend finding something that is good for you. If you're comfortable with a certain setup at the moment, I'd stick with it. If you are having issues pressing a button or not reaching it fast enough, then definitely think about switching something closer to your WASD. You need to be able to think fast, you need to be able to think on your feet, you need to have that muscle memory built up to be able to play at your best. So I'd recommend just keeping your current binds, keeping your muscle memory as it is, unless it is actually causing you an issue. Just a little example of that is I used to play with the SteelSeries Apex Pro, which is known in the community now as one of the best keyboards because a lot of the top pros are using it. But for me personally, I was accidentally jumping a lot in fights, and even though I did change the actuation on the spacebar to something a little bit higher, so I didn't actually accidentally press the spacebar as much, it still was causing me issues. So I have switched, which I'll get onto what keyboard and why more so in a minute. So now we're going to move on to the actual peripherals that I use. Now, for those of you who've been in my stream, have been watching me for the past year and a half, I switch around my peripherals a lot, and that is because I like to test and try new upcoming products, and also I like to switch it up now and again for myself. This was actually a mistake on my behalf, mostly because there's always an issue with every single piece of equipment you will buy. No matter how good the actual product is, they're always going to find a fault which will make you want to switch to something else. I'd recommend sticking with one peripheral, and if it works, then it works, and I'd stick with it. You see people like Mongrel with the G402, been using that for 2 years. It's one of the heavier mice. It's not the best shape. It's got decent buttons, but not the best. But it's still working fine for him. So yeah, honestly, I'd recommend whatever you think is best. Me personally, for myself, it's the Final Mouse, purely because I build with my side buttons, so I need really good, fast, responsive side buttons, and the Final Mouse delivers in that area. The shape is really good for my hand. It's a larger mouse, and I do have larger hands, so it fits me well. And it is, in my opinion, probably around the perfect weight you want for Fortnite, because you want something a little bit on the lighter end in terms of gaming mice, but you want something that is going to be weighty enough to give you the stability which you need for your hip fire shots, which is things like SMG tracking, because you can go too light, and when you go too light, you do actually lose accuracy, because let's say you get a 40-gram mouse, you're going to be a bit shaky with it, so your SMG aim is worse. But then you have a heavier mouse, which is 100 grams, and your SMG aim is probably going to be great, but your flick shots are going to be off because you can't flick the mouse and stop it as fast as you need to. So yeah, there are a lot of different reasons why you should choose the mouse that you need, and it does depend on your binds as well. If I didn't have my build binds on my mouse, I would probably go to the Gear XM1, which is a really nice mouse that I like, which is similar to the Final Mouse, a little bit heavier. The side buttons are slightly worse, but I prefer the shape slightly for aiming. So Yeah, guys, if you are in the market for a new mouse and you don't build with your side buttons, but you use things like pickaxe or trap or something for your side buttons, then I would recommend going with the Gear XM1, because that is basically as good as the Final Mouse in my opinion, but not as good in terms of the side buttons. Now, there are a lot of other mice I'd recommend, but you guys can jump into the stream and ask me questions, sort of size, feel, buttons, everything, and I'll be able to help you guys out. So let's move on to the keyboard. Currently, I'm using the Razer Black Widow Chroma. This is the green switch version. I did have the yellow switch version a couple years ago. Wasn't a big fan of it because it felt a little bit flimsy. I didn't really like the smooth feeling. I mean, when I say smooth feeling, I mean I like the speed and the smoothness of the buttons, of the clicks themselves, but you can I like having a tactile feel when I press my buttons. I like knowing when I've pressed a button. It actually makes me feel faster, which then makes me play faster. So taking a lot of testing actually. So I've had the Huntsman Elite, I've had the SteelSeries Apex Pro, like I mentioned earlier. I've had the Razer Yellow, I've also mentioned. But in the end, I've come back to the green switches in the Razer keyboard, which is very similar to the blue switches in a lot of the other keyboards. Okay, guys, so now let's move on to the audio side of things. So I use the ATH G1, which is the Audio Technica premium gaming headset. And I also use the Audio Technica AT2035, which is the microphone that you guys are actually listening to the video on now. As you can hear, it's quite clear. It's actually really good, well priced for what it is as well. It's you can either get on Amazon or the shop over on Audio Technica, and you can use my code TUCKZ for discount, which you guys will have a link down to below in the description. But yeah, I highly recommend Audio Technica. You guys know what they're about already. They've been around a long time, and I know Atlantis and myself are really happy that we've been sponsored by them. So yeah, shout out to Audio Technica. The monitor that I'm currently using is the NQ2546. It's a 24.5-inch monitor, but it's 240 hertz. It's works perfectly for me purely because it has a HDMI 2.0, which I need for my streaming computer, so I can get a lot of the footage as clean as possible and with the least screen tearing as possible, so on the stream looks as good quality. Now for the mouse mount, I'm using the glorious PC Gaming Race, the 2XL version. This one is good enough for me. Again, I've tried 20 mouse mats plus, I'd say, and this one is the one I keep coming back to because it's consistent, and again, it just gets the job done. I'm using the Razer Sphex. No, not the Razer Sphex. It's called the Razer something or other. It's basically just the mouse bungee that I use, which works well with my desk. It looks nice, it's decent color, and it's weighted well, so it doesn't pull or tip over when I'm playing. As for my desk, I've got a custom built desk which me and my dad made a couple years back now. It just supports my arms well. You guys can see it on stream. I'll give you a little rundown video of it, but it is just curved so that I can enter the desk and lean my elbows on the side without them hanging off the edge, which does create more stress on your shoulders. So you want to make sure that you do have some sort of stability on your shoulders, because after playing for 10 hours a day, they can ache after a while. So the next thing I'd go through is my gaming chair. This one isn't actually a gaming chair specifically. It's called the Vertigear 350. Now this chair is honestly a godsend. I was using a standard gaming chair before, but I was having issues with my back, because after playing for like 10 hours a day, your back does ache as well. So there was no back support. There was a little cushion that they come with, but it isn't good enough to support your back. Your back is extremely important to keep healthy in the long term, purely because you're going to be using it every single day, day in, day out. And if you are planning on being a pro gamer, you need to keep your back as healthy as possible. So I'd always recommend investing a lot of money into a good chair, purely because you're going to get a lot of value out of it. So yeah, I went with the Vertigear 350 because there's a lot of adjustment options for your arms, for your back, for your lower back, for your ass, everything. So honestly, guys, I wouldn't recommend anything more than the Vertigear 350 on my setup, purely because it is something that everyone will get use out of. It's not like a mouse where it's all preference. A chair really is just something that needs to be high quality, and if it's high quality, it will do its job, and it will help you keep your back and your body healthy, even though you're sat in a chair all day. The webcams I'm currently using for my setup are just the Logitech C930 and the C920. The one overhanging on my keyboard, which you guys can't currently see, is a C920. That's just a little close-up shot that I have hanging over my monitor. And my other one is the C930, which is the one that you guys will see on my face cam when I do it. My settings for my mouse currently is X is 14.5% and my Y is 14.5. My targeting and scope are both 40%. I've recently upped and lowered my sense, but I think I've sort of landed somewhere in the middle, because I used to be around 12, then I went up to 16, now I'm at 14.5, which I'm really happy with. It does everything I need it to do. But yeah, I wouldn't really say that you want to go too high with your sensitivity, especially if you're using a lightweight mouse, because you do lose stability. But if you are playing with a slightly heavier mouse, you can compensate by having a higher sensitivity, which will make you play a little bit quicker. But yeah, guys, that is the updated setup video of all my settings and my current peripherals. I hope this was helpful, and I appreciate you guys stopping by and listening to the video. We're going to be having a lot more content out on my YouTube channel in the next month. Me and Basra also have something in the works for the channel over the next couple of weeks. It's something that we've been trying to get done for quite a while now, so I'm quite excited to get it out there. Yeah, guys, if you could keep your eyes peeled on the channel for the next couple of weeks, you'll see it announced on my Twitter as well when it comes out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I do really appreciate it. I'm trying to get more content out on YouTube, so yeah, this is the start for sure. But yeah, everyone, if you could hit the like button, it does really help my channel get my videos up to the recommendation section. And also, if you could subscribe to see the notifications for when my next video comes out, it would be much appreciated. Everyone, have a good night. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And yeah, any questions, put it down in the comments below, or come to my stream and you'll see the link in the description. Peace out.